She wouldn't let her down. Hurrying past a little roadside shrine, a cross tied with flowers and pale blue and white ribbon, Marynka decided she wouldn't tell the witch about her crash landing in the wheat field. She gripped her scythe, checked the branch she had tucked into her apron tie. Her heart beat faster. She hadn't slept at all last night, or eaten anything this morning. Her body hummed with a jittery mix of fear and excitement. Grandmother had shown her how to steal a prince's life, how to blow poppy seed into his eyes and send him to sleep, how to strike his breast with a birch branch 3 times and open up his chest so she could dig out his heart with her fingers and claws. Only Marynka had, so far, failed to grow any claws, which was why she had brought the scythe. "There," Maciek said, scrubbing the sweat from his face with his sleeve and pointing. "Just up ahead. You can see the castle towers through the trees." They passed a flock of bleating sheep, 2 cottages with painted window shutters. Somewhere in the distance, someone was shooting in the wood. Behind her lips, Marynka felt her teeth start to sharpen. The tips of her fingers burned red-hot. She stared at her hands, willing her nails to lengthen. So intently focused on this was she, that she didn't notice the commotion up ahead, the crowd gathering in the dirt road, until she nearly walked into someone's back. Maciek steadied her. "What's happening?" Marynka demanded. Maciek shook his head, frowning. Marynka hopped on her tiptoes, but she was too short to see over anyone's shoulders. Everyone was circled around an old man who was talking very fast and waving his hands. Several people had their own hands pressed to their mouths. A woman was weeping, ignoring a small girl tugging at her skirt. A boy, even shorter and skinnier than Marynka, squeezed between the couple blocking her way, popping out in front of her like a cork from a bottle. Maciek immediately grabbed him by the shirt. "It's the prince!" the boy squeaked in explanation. "He's dead!" "Dead?" Marynka's voice was so loud that more than a few heads turned. But she couldn't help it. The prince was young and healthy. Grandmother hadn't said anything about him being sick. "What do you mean?" Maciek said. The smaller boy wriggled out of his grip. He shook a heap of brown hair out of his eyes and favored them both with a grin of gruesome glee. "They're saying a monster got him." Marynka's grip on her scythe slackened. "He went to visit a friend yesterday. They were meant to hunt bison, and then the prince would stay the night. But they got word up at the castle that he rode for home in the evening. Only he didn't make it back. They've been searching for the past hour. They just found him." The boy shuffled closer, dropping his voice to a whisper. "Yannick said he thought it had to have been a bear at first to have torn the prince into so many pieces. The clearing was red all over with blood. But the wicked thing took his heart, clawed it right out." He grabbed at his own chest to demonstrate. "There was a gaping hole right here." Maciek crossed himself. Marynka wasn't breathing. When Maciek nudged her, she jumped and jerked away. The smaller boy snickered, clearly thinking he'd frightened her with his tail. "You should take your pretty friend home, Maciek. She looks like she's about to faint. And who knows, the monster might still be lurking about." "Here." Maciek shepherded Marynka away from the crowd. Marynka let him only because her thoughts were too busy chasing themselves round and round her head. She barely felt her feet moving. What was she supposed to do now? Whose heart would she bring grandmother? Was there another prince nearby? Lehia had lots of families of princely blood. But she'd been told to come here, to return with the heart of the prince who owned the peasants and fields in the north. Panic set Marynka's skin alight. Would she be tossed away like the other girls who had been no use to the witch? Would she be eaten? Would grandmother find herself a new servant? Take back the magic she'd gifted Marynka and... Wood met her back. Maciek sat her down on a bench set against the side of a cottage in the shade. He crouched in front of her. "Sit here. It's all right. You don't have to be afraid."